brothers and sisters. It is Sister Mary. We are in Numbers. I am reading out of the Interlinear Bible, which is the Aramaic and the Hebrew translation of the Old Testament. Today, I will be reading chapter 17 through 20. God bless you as you listen to the Holy Word. Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, and he shall lift up the censers from the midst of the burning, and shall scatter the fire under, for they have become holy, the fire pans of these sinners against their own souls. And they shall make of them spread out plates, a covering for the altar, for they have brought them before Jehovah, and they are holy. And they shall become a sign to the sons of Israel. And Eleazar the priest took the bronze fire pans, which those burning had brought near, and they spread them out, a covering for the altar, a memorial to the sons of Israel, so that an alien who is not of the seed of Aaron shall not draw near to offer incense before Jehovah, and shall not be as Korah and his company, as Jehovah spoken to him by the hand of Moses. And all the congregation of the sons of Israel murmured on the next day against Moses and against Aaron, saying, You have killed the people of Jehovah. And it happened as the company was assembled against Moses and against Aaron, that they turned toward the tabernacle of the congregation. And behold, the cloud had covered it, and the glory of Jehovah appeared. And Moses and Aaron came to the front of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Get away from the midst of this company, and I shall consume them in a moment. And they fell on their faces. And Moses said to Aaron, Take the censer, and put fire on it from the altar, and lay on the incense, and go. Hurry to the congregation and make atonement for them, for the wrath has gone out from the presence of Jehovah. The plague has begun. And Aaron did as Moses had spoken, and ran into the midst of the assembly. And behold, the plague had begun among the people. And he laid on the incense, and made atonement for the people, and stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed. And those who died by the plague were 14,700, besides those who died for the matter of Korah. And Aaron turned back to Moses to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the plague was stayed. Chapter 17. So where I had begun reading must have been chapter 16, verse 36. And the way this Bible is laid out, it starts with chapter 17 at that verse that I started with. So, our King James is a little different. So, and Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and take from each of them a rod for a father's house, from all their rulers for the house of their fathers, 12 rods. You shall write the name of each on his rod, and you shall write Aaron's name on the tribe of Levi. For one rod shall be for the head of their father's house, and you shall place them in the tabernacle of the congregation before the testimony, where I shall meet with you. And it shall be that the man's rod which I choose shall blossom, and I shall cause the murmurings of the sons of Israel, which they are murmuring against you, to cease from me. And Moses spoke to the sons of Israel, and all their rulers gave to him one rod for each ruler, one rod for a ruler for their father's house, 12 rods. And the rod of Aaron was among the rods. And Moses placed the rods before Jehovah in the tabernacle of the testimony. And it happened on the next day, Moses went into the tabernacle of the testimony, and behold, the rod of Aaron for the house of Levi had budded, and put forth buds, and bloomed blossoms, and bore ripe almonds. And Moses brought out all the rods from before Jehovah to all the sons of Israel, and they looked, and each one took his rod. And Jehovah said to Moses, Put back the rod of Aaron before the testimony, to be kept as a token to the sons of rebellion. And you shall take their murmurings off me, and they shall not die. And Moses did as Jehovah had commanded him, so he did. And the sons of Israel spoke to Moses, saying, Behold, we die, we perish, we all perish. Anyone who draws near to the tabernacle of Jehovah shall die. Shall we be consumed to die? Chapter 18 of Numbers. And Jehovah said to Aaron, You and your sons and your father's house with you shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary, and you and your sons with you shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood, and also your brothers, the tribe of Levi. And the tribe of your father you shall bring near with you, that they may be joined to you and may minister to you, you and your sons in your being, before the tabernacle of the testimony. And they shall keep your charge and the charge of all the tabernacle. Only they shall not go near to the vessels of the sanctuary and to the altar, and they shall not die, either they or you. And they shall be joined to you, and shall keep the charge of the tabernacle of the congregation. For all the service of the tabernacle, and a stranger shall not go near to you. And you shall keep the charge of the sanctuary, and the charge of the altar. And there shall be no more wrath against the sons of Israel. And I, behold, I have taken your brothers the Levites from the midst of the sons of Israel. As a gift they are given to you by Jehovah, to do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. And you and your sons with you shall keep your priesthood in everything that pertains to the altar, and to that inside the veil. And you shall serve. I have given you the priesthood as a service of gift, and the stranger who comes near shall be put to death. And Jehovah spoke to Aaron, saying, And I, behold, I have given to you the charge of my heave offerings, of all the dedicated things of the sons of Israel. I have given them to you for the anointing, and to your sons by a never-ending statute. This shall be yours of the most holy things, from the fire, every offering of theirs, even every food offering of theirs, and every sin offering of theirs, and every guilt offering of theirs, which they may give back to me. It shall be most holy to you and to your sons. You shall eat it in the holy of holies. Every male shall eat it. It shall be holy to you. And this is yours, the heave offering of their gift, with all the waver offering of the sons of Israel. I have given them to you, and to your sons, and to your daughters with you, by a never-ending statute. Every clean one in your house shall eat it. All the best of the oil, and all the best of the new wine, and wheat, the first fruits of them, which they give to Jehovah, I have given to you. The first fruits of all that is in their land, which they bring in to Jehovah, shall be yours. Every clean one in your house shall eat it. Every devoted thing in Israel shall be yours. Every one opening a womb of all flesh, which they offer to Jehovah, among man and among animal, shall be yours. Only you shall certainly redeem the firstborn of man, and you shall redeem the firstling of the unclean beast. And their redeemed ones, from a month old, you shall redeem with your valuation of silver, 5 shekels by the shekel of the sanctuary. It is 20 gerahs. But the firstlings of a cow, or the firstlings of a sheep, or the firstlings of a goat, you shall not redeem, they are holy. You shall sprinkle their blood on the altar, and you shall burn their fat as incense, a fire offering of soothing fragrance to Jehovah. And their flesh shall be yours, as the beast, as the breast of the wave offering, and as the right leg, it shall be yours. And the heave offerings of the holy things which the sons of Israel shall lift up to Jehovah, I have given to you and to your sons, and to your daughters with you by a never-ending statute. A covenant of salt it shall be forever before Jehovah, to you and to your seed with you. And Jehovah said to Aaron, You shall have no inheritance in their land, nor shall you have any portion among them. I am your portion, and your inheritance among the sons of Israel. And behold, I have given all the tithe in Israel to the sons of Levi for an inheritance, in return for their service which they are serving, the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the sons of Israel shall not come near to the tabernacle of the congregation any more, lest they bear sin and die. But the Levites shall do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they shall bear their iniquity. It shall be a never-ending statute throughout your generations, that in the midst of the sons of Israel they shall have no inheritance, but the tithes of the sons of Israel, which they shall lift up to Jehovah, a heave offering. I have given to the Levites for inheritance. Therefore I have said to them, they shall have no inheritance among the sons of Israel. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, And you shall say to the Levites, and you shall speak to them, when you take the tithe from the sons of Israel, which I have given to you from them for your inheritance, then you shall offer from it a heave offering of Jehovah, a tithe of the tithe. And your heave offering shall be counted to you as grain from the threshing floor, and as fullness from the winepress. So you also shall lift up the heave offering to Jehovah from all your tithes which you receive from the sons of Israel, and you shall give from it the heave offering of Jehovah to Aaron the priest. You shall lift up the whole heave offering of Jehovah out of all your gifts, out of all its fat, its hallowed part out of it. And you shall say to them, when you lift up its fat out of it, then it shall be counted to the Levites as increase of a threshing floor, and as increase of a winepress, and you shall eat it in every place, you and your households. For it is your holy reward in return for your service in the tabernacle of the congregation. And you shall bear no sin because of it, since you have set apart from it the best of it. And you shall not profane the holy things of the sons of Israel, so that you may not die. Chapter 19. And Jehovah spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, This is the statute of the law which Jehovah has commanded, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel that they bring you a red heifer, a perfect one, in which there is no blemish, on which no yoke ever came. And you shall give her to Eleazar the priest, and she shall be brought forth outside the camp, and she shall be slaughtered before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and shall sprinkle of her blood towards the front of the tabernacle of the congregation 7 times. And the heifer shall be burned before his eyes. Her skin and her flesh, and her blood with her dung shall be burned. And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet, and shall cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he may come into the camp. And the priest shall be unclean until the evening. And he that burned her shall wash his clothes in water, and shall bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean until the evening. And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and shall lay them up outside the camp in a clean place. And it shall be kept clean for the congregation of the sons of Israel, for a water of impurity. It is a purging offering. And he that gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes, and shall be unclean until the evening. And it shall be to the sons of Israel, and to the stranger that lives among them, for a never-ending statute. He that touches the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall cleanse himself for it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. And if he does not cleanse himself on the 3rd day, then on the 7th day he shall not be clean. Anyone who touches the dead body, the body of a man who dies, and does not cleanse himself, he shall have defiled the tabernacle of Jehovah. And that person shall be cut off from Israel, for the water of impurity shall not be sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean. His uncleanness shall be still on him. This is the law when a man dies in a tent. Everyone who comes into the tent, and all that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which has no covering of thread on it shall be unclean. And whoever in the open field touches one that has been pierced with a sword, or one that has died of himself, or the bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. And for the unclean they shall take the ashes of the burning of the purging offering, and running water in a vessel shall be put on it. And a clean person shall take hyssop, and shall dip it in water, and shall sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon all the vessels, and upon the persons that were there, and upon him that touched the bone, or the slain, or the dead, or the grave. And the clean person shall sprinkle on the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day. And on the 7th day he shall purify himself, and he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and shall be clean at evening. But the man that shall be unclean, and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from the midst of the congregation, because he has defiled the sanctuary of Jehovah. The water for impurity has not been sprinkled on him. He shall be unclean, and it shall be a never-ending statute to them. And he that sprinkles the water of sprinkling shall wash his clothes, and he touches the water of the sprinkling shall be unclean until evening. And whatever the unclean person touches shall be unclean, and the soul that touches it shall be unclean until evening. Chapter 20 of Numbers. And the sons of Israel, even the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Zin in the 1st month, and the people remained in Kadesh. And Miriam died there, and was buried there. And there was no water for the congregation. And they were gathered against Moses and against Aaron. And the people contended with Moses and spoke, saying, Oh, that we had died when our brothers died before Jehovah. And why have you brought the assembly of Jehovah to this wilderness to die there, we and our animals? And why have you brought us up out of Egypt to bring us to this evil place, not a place of seed, nor fig, nor vine, nor pomegranate, and there is no water to drink? And Moses and Aaron went in from the eyes of the assembly to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and fell on their faces. And the glory of Jehovah appeared to them. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Take the rod and assemble the congregation, you and your brother Aaron, and speak to the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth its water. And you shall bring water out of the rock to them. So you shall water the congregation and their animals. And Moses took the rod from before Jehovah, as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron assembled the congregation before the rock. And he said to them, Hear now, you rebels. Shall we bring forth water to you out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and smote the rock with his rod twice. And much water came out, and the congregation and their animals drank. And Jehovah said to Moses and Aaron, Because you did not believe in me, to sanctify me before the eyes of the sons of Israel, so that you shall not bring in the congregation to the land which I have given to them. These are the waters of strife, because the sons of Israel contended with Jehovah, and he was sanctified upon them. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. So says your brother Israel, You surely have known all the travail which has befallen us, that our fathers went down to Egypt, and we lived in Egypt many days. And the Egyptians did evil to us and to our fathers, and we cried to Jehovah, and he heard our voice, and sent a messenger, and is bringing us out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your border. Please let us pass over through your land. We shall not pass over through a field, nor through a vineyard, nor shall we drink water of a well. We shall go along the king's highway. We will not turn aside to the right hand or to the left until we have passed your border. And Edom said to him, You shall not pass through me, lest I come out with a sword against you. And the sons of Israel said to him, We shall go in the highway, and if we drink of your waters, our cattle and us, then I shall give their price. Only let me pass through on my feet. There shall be no harm. And he said, You shall not pass through. And Edom came out against him with many people and with a strong hand. And Edom refused to allow Israel to pass over through his border. And Israel turned away from him, And the sons of Israel, the whole congregation, pulled up stakes from Kadesh and came into Mount Hor. And Jehovah spoke to Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor, on the edge of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered to his people, for he shall not go into the land which I have given to the sons of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and his son Eleazar, and cause them to go up to Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and you shall put them on his son Eleazar, and Aaron shall be gathered and shall die there. And Moses did as Jehovah had commanded, and they went up to Mount Hor before the eyes of all the congregation. And Moses stripped Aaron of his garments, and clothed his son Eleazar with them. And Aaron died there on top of the mountain. And Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain, and all the congregation saw that Aaron had died, and they mourned Aaron 30 days, all the house of Israel.